puts boot to ball, goes long and deep, and Swinton with first use of the ball. A gunner, Billy Jowett, this throws himself straight into a big tackle there, and he gets up, does Lewis Baxter, a little bit gingerly. It was Jowett on Baxter, and Jowett just threw himself straight out of that defensive line, and Bradford are setting their defensive stall out early doors, and here goes Jowett again. Billy Jowett's bringing down the centre over on this main stand side. Wesley Bruns is getting to his feet. He'll play the ball. They're coming back down the middle here with Jordan Case, the loose forward for the Lions. He's rolled over on his back, 15 shy of halfway. Back they're going down the middle again once again. This will be the last tackle, and so far Bradford have done well, restricting Swinton to just 40 metres. Swinton currently 12th in the table on 6 points. Bradford 8th on 10. Kick comes in, high-hanging kick for Walker. Walker takes it unopposed on his own 20-metre line, and Walker's going to turn defence into attack, and he's brought down 25 metres out from his own try line on tackle number 1. So it's Bradford Bulls against Swinton Lions here at Odsal Stadium, Betfred Championship, round 11, and we've had 60 seconds gone on the clock as we see Bradford just come over on this main stand side here with Ben Blackmore. Blackmore's brought down in a three-man tackle, 10 shy of the halfway line. Lily out of dummy half, up and over halfway. 15-metre scurry there from Lily out of dummy half. Jowett's now there receiving the play, the ball to Johnson, to Patton, to Walker. Walker goes through a gap, passes it to Foggy Johnson. Pass on the inside to Gill. Electric play there from the Bulls. They're 5 metres out now from the Swinton's line. Wallace goes in at dummy half. Kick comes over the top from Patton. Ball is live. Blackmore just can't regather it. He's played the ball off a Swinton man, and referee Cameron Worsley will get the call from the touch judge, and he will say it is a scrum to Swinton, although it come off the Swinton winger, Mike, but they're going to say it was Blackmore who played the ball, and the ball played the man rather than the man playing the ball. No real qualms with that call, but we've just seen a little bit of an electricity from the Bulls on that set of 6, on their first set of 6, going pretty much 80 metres. So Swinton from their own 10-metre line, they're on tackle number 2, looking for traction as Dan Norman, one of the 3 players on dual reg from St Helens, is pushed back towards the 10-metre line. They're still inside their own 20 here. A flat pass out of dummy half, goes wide, and AJ Wallace and Fenton Rogers are 2 Bradford defenders there. Back they come down the middle here as Ollie Olds and Jordan Gibson try to sprinkle some magic, and it's going to be Gibson who just manages to evade a tackle, but he's wrapped up there by Lillian Johnson on tackle number 4. Swinton coming up towards halfway here, but yet to have a play the ball inside the Bradford half of the field, and they still won't have a play the ball in the Bradford half of the field because they're on the last tackle, 40 metres out from their own try line. 10 shy of halfway, kick comes in, scuffed by Gibson. Bounce of the ball's kind for Walker. Walker turns defence to attack again. Walker's lost the ball on contact. And now here comes Swinton, and they are going to have a play the ball here. 20 metres out now from the Bradford line. So that's come off the back of that Jack Walker error as we see Swinton moving the ball with Mike Butt. Butt's wrapped up there by Patton and Wallace. Quick play the ball from Butt. They're going towards the post here with Jordan Case, and he's going to be held a metre out from the line. Bradford have conceded the 6 again here for laying on in the tackle. So they're on top of the Bulls' try line here with a full set of 6 as a lovely 1-2 between Gibson and Norman sees Dan Norman brought down literally underneath the Bradford post. Swinton looking for first points here. We've had 3.5 minutes gone on the clock as we see Brad England come in and wrap Jordan Case up. He's gone through a lot of work, Jordan Case, early doors. In there at dummy half is Josh Eves. Eves gives the ball out towards the centre. Andrew Badrock gets the ball eventually, and he's pushed back in the field of play by Fenton Rogers and Chester Butler. Another quick play of the ball from Swinton, but that's great defence from Jordan Lilly. He just wraps up Dan Norman, and Swinton now have lost 10 metres, and they're on the last tackle here. The kick, no, they're going to run it on the power play. They're in at the corner. No, they're not. Try-saving tackle from Chester Butler, forcing Wesley Bruns into touch, and Chester Butler has put his body on the line. He was flying like Superman, trying to save Lewis Lane, falling from a 100-metre storey building. And let me tell you, he's literally made contact there and forced Wesley Bruins into touch. He tried to ground the ball in at the corner. And that was tremendous Bradford defence, and that's come off the back of that Jack Walker error. So Bradford 0, Swinton 0, 4.5 minutes gone, as Billy Jowett's now gone 20, 30 metres. Jowett's been held in the tackle, and it's a dangerous tackle because Billy Jowett has had his neck pulled back there by Josh Eaves, and referee Cameron Worsley is going to give the first penalty of the afternoon to the Bradford Bulls for that tackle, which pushed Billy Jowett's neck dangerously back. So here we go. Bradford 20 out from that Swinton line with a new set of 6 here. It's going to be Blackmore to Patton across the face of the post. Now they go down the middle way with Rogers. Rogers offloads the ball here to Johnson. Now it goes to Baldwinson. Baldwinson's brought down 8 metres out. Underneath the Swinton post here. Lilly, Patton to Jowett. Jowett, mazy footwork. Jowett's over the line. Can he get the ball down? He can't, but he's been caught high again as Billy Jowett. It's another penalty to Bradford. So that's 2 in quick succession here to the Bradford Bulls. And Billy Jowett, he went into the Swinton in goal area there, and he was just caught on the shoulder, but then the contact went on the chin. So a bit of ill discipline here for Alan Coleman's side. Back-to-back penalties. We normally know that results in points on the board. And is this the set of 6 where Bradford opened the scoring? Lilly to Jowett. Bullock pass to Patton. Patton out wide to Fogging Johnson. Johnson, he's caught on the shoulder by Spedding and Hatton. And he's brought down 8 metres out, 10 in from the far stand side. Gill's in there at dummy half. Now to Patton. No look pass from Patton to Rogers. Rogers is brought down. Takes 2 Swinton defenders out of that line. Another quick play of the ball as we now see Lilly giving the ball into the arms of former Widnesman Josh Johnson. 4th tackle gone here for Bradford. 1 remaining. The 2 metres out underneath the Swinton post. Lilly now to Jowett. Jowett takes the line on. Jowett going towards the try line. Mike Butt comes in and wraps him up. They're on the last tackle here, the Bulls. Jowett's took a lot of pain in the opening 5 minutes here. Lilly to Patton. Patton kicks ahead for Gill. Kieran Gill touches down. Pinpoint accuracy with the kick from Deck Patton. It's Patton to Gill. Gill has try number 8 of the season. And Swinton's defence, it has finally buckled. It went penalty, power play, try, and it's the Bulls that open the scoring here. We have had 7 minutes gone on the clock, and Kieran Gill has try number 8 of the season. Steve Potts says, listening in Halifax this afternoon, he's desperate for a Bulls win. Let's see if they can put in a performance and get the much needed 2 points. Come on, you Bulls, chance to turn things around. Keep your messages coming. Let us know where you are. The Leicestershire Beast says, well played, kept going. And that is right. That is exactly what Bradford did. They kept going right up to the power play. And credit to Swinton, they made life difficult for Lee Greenwood and Brian Noble's side. Kick predictor turned on for the first time this afternoon. Deck Patton. 15 metres to the left-hand side of the post. 64%. That one's gone between the posts. 1 from Deck Patton. Bradford Bulls 6. Swinton Lions. No score here. 8 minutes gone on the clock. West Yorkshire Radio, Bulls TV. Mick the Game Caller Gleddle. People listening Dewsbury, Manchester, Turkey, Malta, China. Mary's listening in New Zealand. Thank you. We're truly going global this afternoon. Matt Gilbert listening in Northumberland. So, 8 minutes gone on the clock. Bradford 6, Swinton 0. Kieran Gill, the quickest to react. Just sliding between Spedding and Hatton and grounding the ball in the in-goal area. So we're back underway here. Rogers, tackle 1. 10 metres out from his own try line. Lily's in there at dummy half. It's gone to Rogers. Feinted Rogers is caught high. That's 4 penalties now that Swinton have conceded. And Cameron Worsley is going to have a word here with Swinton. And is this saying, yeah, you've done 3 high tackles. 3 dangerous tackles, and you're losing the penalty count 4-0. Not that Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood are going to be concerned about it, because that ball from Jordan Lilly has found touch 5 metres inside the Swinton half of the field. We'll keep you up to date with latest goings on at the Shea and also at Cougar Park. Big game between Keighley and Sheffield, with those teams in and around Bradford playing each other this weekend. A chance for Bradford to get the win here and get themselves back in that top 6. Rogers tackle 1, 25 out. Patton now, Jowett, lovely ball from Jowett to England. Brad England's going in! Brad England's going in from 30 metres out! And welcome back, Brad England! Brad England, he threw the dummy. He sold Mike Butt a perler. Mike Butt's on his way to Mothercare. Brad England's off to the try line for 4 points. And it's Bradford Bulls 10, Swinton Lions 0. What a start here. Wonderful stuff there from the Bradford Bulls. Swinton already looking crestfallen, out on the feet. Well. Brad England, he literally got that ball from Jowett, 30 metres out, and there was no stopping Brad England from there. He literally charged onto that ball. He sold an outrageous dummy to fullback Mike Butt. And the Bulls' main business here at Odsall this afternoon. They're going at a point a minute here. 10 minutes gone, 10-0. Patton from in front. Bradford Bulls 12, Swinton Lions 0 here. 10 minutes on the clock. Gill and Patton. England and Patton. 12 points to 0. Ben Hammond's listening from Florida this afternoon. Graham reckons, is this Nobby's influence, he thinks. Well, Brian Noble has taken the training on Tuesday and Wednesday evening. It's no secret. Club CEO Jason Hurst describes it as a coaching partnership between Lee Greenwood and Brian Noble. We'll get the thoughts of Lee Greenwood at full time, but so far so good for the Bulls. They're beating the clock here. Albeit they have benefited from some shocking ill discipline from the Swinton Lions. Those 4 penalties, 3 of them for high tackles, haven't helped their cause. They've been starved of possession now for a number of minutes, and Bradford already 20 out from their own try line here with Ben Blackmore, who's looking to get a quick play of the ball in here. Blackmore gets to his feet. Lilly now to Josh Johnson. Johnson goes down the middle, 15 shy of halfway, tackle 2. Bradford 12, Swinton 0 if you're joining us here at Odsall. Lilly now to Rogers. Rogers 5 shy of halfway, tackle 3. Lilly's in there at dummy half. Short ball towards Baldwinson. Baldwinson's made 15 metres. And Bradford are 40 out from the Swinton try line here. They're going to go to Jowett. Jowett's seen something, kicks early. Johnson's going to try and get under this, but in the end, it's a penalty to Swinton because Josh Johnson and AJ Wallace were ahead of that kick from Billy Jowett, and it will be a relieving penalty at that, which Swinton will be really relieved at because that will allow them to have the ball. Bradford conceding on average 8.1 penalties per game. No secret that you'd ideally want to get that down to around 6 or even 5. So Swinton down by 12 points here. They've had big wins this season. Probably the 2 shock results of the season against Batley and Toulouse. And now Bradford's ill discipline is creeping in because we've seen a high tackle here. So 4-2 the penalty count, plus the set restart to Swinton. And we have 13 minutes gone on the clock, and Swinton now 20 metres out from the Bradford line. So they're going to have to roll the sleeves up here, show character, and put in a big performance in defence. But thus far, thus good. Josh Eves out a dummy half to Gibson. Gibson back on the inside to Norman. Tackle 2, 15 out underneath the Bradford post. Played towards the Ruley Avenue terrace in here. Here goes Case. Case has lost the ball. And Jordan Case there Well, that was horrific. I'm not sure what Jordan Case was trying to do, but Bradford have recovered possession here with Chester Butler, and now they're going to turn defence into attack. And here goes Blackmore. Blackmore, 30 metres out from his own try line. Second error from Swinton. They're moving it across the park here. Hulkiston Rovers bound AJ Wallace is brought down 5 metres from halfway, and he's rolled over on his back. More messing around at the play of the ball. Referee on move. Bay they go down the middle here with Rogers. Rogers is up to halfway. Crowd appealing for a 6 again. They're not getting one. 14 minutes gone. Bradford 12, Swinton 0. Patton to Jowett. Jowett now back to Butler. Butler goes down this right-hand edge. He's 5 metres inside the Swinton half of the field. Ball goes to Patton. Patton puts boot to ball. Mike Butt calls for it. 15 out from his own line. And Mike Butt is going to be wrapped up there by Jowett, Lilly and Johnson in a three-man tackle. He'll get to his feet, he'll play the ball. 6 again given here to Swinton. Jordan Lilly, the culprit, just laying on in the tackle. We've got Bowling Bulls listening from his bowling. Simon joining us from Cardiff. He can feel the confidence in this performance, of which it is 15 minutes old. Bradford leading 12-0. Gillen England with the tries. Padden 2 from 2. Brad England scoring his first try of the season on his return to action. Barrow now inside the Bradford half of the field with Josh Eaves. Eaves' run is halted. Johnson and Lilly, the two marker defenders. Case once again goes scooting out a dummy half, gives the ball back to Eaves. And Swinton not really being able to create anything. It's a little bit static, pedestrian. One-man rugby from them. They are on the last tackle. The kick goes down towards Walker, who's been kept largely quiet. And Walker's brought down 5 out from his own try line on tackle number 1. It's been a real great fast start to the Bulls, but they're in that arm wrestle period, arm wrestle part of the game. We all know what that means, where it gets a little bit, you got to work hard, roll your sleeves up. Here goes Lilly to Gill. Gill's brought down 20 out from the Bradford line. Centre field position. Walker's calling for the ball. Instead it's going to go down the middle here with Blackmore. Blackmore's brought down there by Norman Badrock, and also involved in that tackle is Rodri Lloyd. That takes Swinton defenders out of the defensive line as Brad England carries Bradford a metre inside the Swinton half of the field. Bradford on the last tackle on halfway with Lilly. Lilly once again, another high-hanging kick. Walker's chasing it on the inside. Walker's been taken out off the ball. And that could be 10 minutes in the sin bin, because Jack Walker, it's a professional foul. Jack Walker's been taken out. The touch judge comes on. I think Cameron Worsley, the referee from Castleford, is just going to give a penalty here. And Brian Noble wants 2 points on the board here. Well, we spoke at the start of the game about what is the message this week from Lee Greenwood and Brian Noble. They addressed the players on Tuesday. And the main priority from Greenwood and Noble is just to get the win. Well, Ben Blackmore's having a word with Cameron Worsley here about something, but it's 5-2 on the penalty count, and for all intents and purposes, that was a professional foul. Well, that's one bugbear of mine. I've done the referee's course myself, but the inconsistencies in how the rules are applied is frustrating. Patton's going to take this penalty conversion attempt 25 metres out from the Swinton line, and that goes straight between the posts. Bradford Bulls 14, Swinton Lions 0. So 14 points to 0. 18 minutes gone on the clock. That could be crucial come the 80th minute, or it might just be an extra 2 points on Bradford's points for and against. But it's West Yorkshire Radio, Bulls TV, and Swinton in no real hurry to get back to halfway to get the restart underway. Well, the crowd that have turned up towards Salt this afternoon certainly enjoying this first quarter performance from Lee Greenwood's side. Jordan Baldwinson, tackle 1 on the restart, 20 out from his own line. Brought down there by Wes Brunis and Joey Romero. Bradford awarded a 6 again here, because Swinton are just laying on in the tackle. Lilly now to Jowett. Jowett once again is really excelling this afternoon in that standoff role, is Billy Jowett. And he's given the ball to Josh Johnson, who carries him up to halfway. Here goes Walker to Gill. Gill taking on that edge defence. Heading towards touch, Kieran Gill. And he's been pushed into touch there. And that's good defence. And it's a good recovery from the Swinton Lions. It was Hatton, Spedding, and also Rodri Lloyd, who come charging across. And the three Swinton defenders, they just wrapped up Kieran Gill. And they dragged him over the touchline. Scrum, head and feed to Swinton. 20 shy of halfway. 30 metres out from their own try line. And if you're just joining us this afternoon, it's Bradford 14, Swinton 0. 6 changes made to the starting 17. With Blackmore, Fogging Johnson, England. We've not seen Mason come on the field yet, neither Kevin Appo. So you've got 2 big enforcers, 2 big units there that'll throw themselves at this Swinton defence. Swinton giving a 6 again here, Mike Butt. Hands on the face, says Cameron Worsley. Well, Bradford have conceded 2 penalties and 3 6 agains here. So that ill-discipline aspect to Bradford's performance is still a little bit of a worry, a little bit of an issue. Swinton now with Josh Eaves. They're moving the ball over on the far-stand side. 20 metres out here. Lillian Patton bringing down Josh Eaves. The former Newcastle Thunderman. Back across the face of the ball. They go here with Case. Case now moves the ball back down with the back row forward, Andrew Badrock. And the referee's going to stop the clock here, because there's going to be a green card, I do believe, for one of the Swinton players. I think it's Mike Butt, who's down on halfway. And it was on the back of that 6 again. So Andrew Badrock, the back row forward for Swinton, he's got the ball 10 metres out from the Bradford line. But Mike Butt is down and he requires medical attention for the hands on the face. That's what the 6 again was, with both the Bradford and Swinton club doctors out there on the field. And it's looking like he's got a little bit of claret there. So perhaps the high tackle from the Bradford player just bursting one of those juicy blood vessels. So it's looking like Mike Butt's going to come off the field and Dan Abram will come on. But it's Bradford 14, Swinton 0 here. For those people that have messaged and asked about any potential names, well, you know, people, I'll be brutally honest, I think it's pie in the sky. People, you know, associating your Brian McDermott's, your James Ford's, you know, those types of coaching positions. They all seem happy. Paul Anderson's been mentioned. I just think it's wishful thinking. You're probably looking on a more serious level at your Jamie Langleys, who's currently the defence coach at Sale, Chev Walker at Leeds, Richard Marshall potentially from Warrington. People have said Matt Adamson. Again, he has applied for a few jobs recently and has yet to get one. But yeah, I think it is a crucial appointment. No one will disagree with that, but you've got to be realistic with what is going to be available and what Bradford can afford. On the last tackle here, crossfield kick, Fogging Johnson under pressure, Swinton lose the ball, ball picked up by Lilly, Lilly gives the ball to Gill, Gill's away, up to halfway, Kieran Gill, and he's clutched into the arms there of that tackle, and that's got to be 10 minutes in the bin. The referee's just going to give a 6 again here, and Fogging Johnson in the sunshine now. He goes 30 metres out from the Swinton line. There's more messing around. It's 2 6 agains in a war here. I'm sure we're going to see a yellow card at some point, because this can't continue. It's spoiling the spectacle somewhat. But Bradford back to 0 on the tackle count, 20 metres out. Patton to Jowett. Jowett out wide to Wallace. Wallace is wrapped up there by Hatton and Lloyd in a 2-man tackle. And they're 12 metres out from the Swinton try line. Patton now to Rogers. Fenton Rogers rolled over underneath the Swinton post. Lilly. Baldwinson. head down towards the Swinton line, and Bradford now really knocking on that Swinton Lions door, looking for try number 3 of the afternoon. Patton delays the pass to Wallace, and Wallace is held in the tackle there. Good defence there from Jordan Gibson. On the last, Patton kicks through, and he's done well there, Jordan Case, because he's just dropped on the ball, a metre out from his own try line. Referee says it's a penalty for offside. So, just to take stock of where we are on the penalty count, 5-3, throwing the set restarts, it's 8-6. So, it's one of those afternoons. We've had 14 already. Yeah, and the referee's having a word with the Swinton trainer here, because the Swinton trainer is on the field at every opportunity. So it's a penalty for the offside from the kick on the last from Patton, and it remains Bradford 14, Swinton 0. Well, they've been warned, Swinton, about the conduct for the laying on, so you've got to assume at some point the referee will lose his patience. 25 gone on the clock here at Odsall. They're up to halfway here. Swinton on tackle number 2. Dan Norman's brought down. So he's come on the field as Tom Whitehead, so too Dan Abram. And it's Dan Abram in there at dummy half. He immediately gives the ball there to Tom Whitehead, the Warrington Wolves low knee. Made his debut against Salford earlier on in the season. Here goes Gibson. Jordan Gibson twisting, turning. Gives the ball here to Rodri Lloyd now, and Rodri Lloyd's made a couple of metres forward. Quick play the ball from Rodri Lloyd. Swinton are going to kick early in the count, turning around Blackmore. Blackmore, lovely ball in the in-goal area to Walker, who will get out of the way of those blue-shirted Swinton defenders. It's a high-risk play, but it's come off superbly for the Bulls. 14 points to 0, Bradford lead here. We've had 25 gone on the clock as Brad England is now carrying Bradford. 25 shy of halfway. Eben Skurs come on the field here, and he'll be looking for a big carry here now as another quick play of the ball here. Sees Lilly make 10, 15, 20 metres. He's 10 inside the Swinton half of the field. They're on the 5th and last tackle here. Patton boot to ball. High hanging kick. It's going to come down here for Dan Abram, who's come on in place of Mike Butt, and he will be brought down. 12 out from his own try line. Fenton Rogers receives a bit of a standing ovation for his efforts in that first half. Nathan Mason's about to come on the field here. Michael Lawrence wearing the trainer's top for Bradford this afternoon. Looks like he might be looking to perhaps put his name or hat into any potential coaching changes behind the scenes at the club. The 10 shy of the halfway line here. Swinton now. Wrapped up there is Case by Skur and Butler, and they're on the last tackle once again, Swinton, and they've only made 35 metres on this set of 6 as Gibson is forced to kick from inside his own half. That's a difficult one for Walker, but he takes it 10 out from his own line. Walker now goes wide, wrapped up there by Lloyd, tackle number 1 on a fresh set of 6 for the Bradford Bulls. So 14 points to 0. Bradford have just made the one error all game, so they are completing and they're competing, and that's showing on the scoreboard. Here goes Nathan Mason, his first carry on his Bradford Bulls debut in a Bradford shirt. He's 5 shy of halfway, and now immediately after Mason you've got Skur, and Skur goes charging down the middle. Billy Jowett overrun that support play there if Skur could get the ball, but now it goes to Padden. Padden now to Jowett. Jowett to Walker. Walker's pass intercepted. Commentator's curse. Second error of the afternoon for the Bulls, and it will result in a try to the Swinton Lions. It's an intercept by the winger Jaden Hatton, and Hatton's going to go 65 metres to the right-hand side of the post, and just like that, 28 gone on the clock. Hatton, he had too much toe on the foot race. A valiant chase back from Gill, Johnston and Jowett, but in the end, it was a high-risk play there from the Bulls. If that pass finds Gill or Johnston, there's daylight. As it was, Hatton read the ball, and Walker's pass picked off for 4 points, potentially 6. Game back on here at Odsall. That try against the run of play. Bradford just have to pick themselves up here and dust themselves off as Michael Lawrence comes on, and he will relay the messages from Lee Greenwood and Brian Noble. So, kick predictor here for Dan Abram. 72%. It is literally 15 metres to the right-hand side of the post. Abram pilots that between the posts. West Yorkshire Radio, Bulls TV. Just over 10 minutes to go to half-time here at Odsall. And it's Bradford Bulls 14, Swinton Lions 6. So, game back on here. Swinton. Well, when we spoke to Alan Coleman during the week, he's backed his side to turn up with the right attitude this afternoon. He always knows a trip to Odsall is going to be a real tough test for his side and his side's character. Jordan Lilly gets proceedings back underway here. High hanging kick. Taken there by Gibson. Gibson gives it to Baxter. Baxter tackle one. Swinton 8 metres out from their own try line. Now it's going to go here with Whitehead. Tom Whitehead's brought down. Tackle 2. Skur and Patton in defence. Ball moves over on the far stand side. Rodri Lloyd's got it. Tackle 3. He's lost the ball, Rodri Lloyd. Tackle not completed. Eben Skur's picked up the loose ball. That's a 6th error from Swinton in this first half. And they're on the 0 tackle here. So a chance immediately for Bradford to get some points back on the board after that error from Jack Walker. They find themselves 10 metres out as Skur goes having a tilt on that Swinton Lions line. 3 Swinton Lions defenders slowing the ruck down, but that leaves them exposed out wide, and Patton smells blood, but Patton can't get past Abram and Baxter. He will get a quick play the ball in. Nathan Mason just picks the ball up and crashes over. And that's Bradford's 3rd try of the afternoon. And what a debut from Nathan Mason. He's only been on the field 5 minutes, but he's had 4 carries already and he's already made about 40 metres. Well, we talked about his size, his experience and his presence. And that was Nathan Mason bringing that Super League enforcer quality, what we spoke about last week. A lot of people, when the name was announced, I saw a few negative comments and I was left thinking, maybe at a Super League level, but at a Championship level, Nathan Mason is going to really enjoy his time at the Bulls for the remainder of the season. That tries underneath the post. Kick predictor 100% for Det Patton. And that come after Rodri Lloyd had lost the ball. Jordan Baldwinson leaves the field here. Kevin Appo comes on. And Swinton must be looking, thinking, well, hang on a second. You've just brought on Mason, and now Kevin Appo is about to come on. Patton, to continue, is 100% record with a boot. That goes between the posts. Bradford Bulls, 20. Swinton Lions 6 here at Odsall. Gill, England, Mason with the tries. Patton 4 from 4. Bradford restore their 14-point lead. And we're in the 32nd minute here at Odsall. It has been a largely positive first 40 minutes. Swinton Lions back underway here. Oh, Billy Jowett well caught in the in-goal area, and he gives it straight to Appo. And Kevin Appo has took 4 Swinton defenders out of that defensive line. Fullback Dan Abrams trying to get players across over on the far stand side because Swinton's defensive structure is shot to pieces. And there's more messing around at the play of the ball here as Brad England wants to get a quick play of the ball in. Here goes Blackmore, gives the ball to Walker. Walker's up and over halfway, and Walker now gives the ball behind him to Jowett, and Jowett's away. Billy Jowett to Appo. Apo 25 out from the Swinton line. A 50-metre move there from the Bulls. Jowett and Walker heavily involved, and here goes Jowett again. Billy Jowett head down, and Billy Jowett's wrapped up 15 metres out. Well, he's already in man of the match contention, Billy Jowett. It's been a real strong first half from him. Lilly now to Skur. Bradford, the 5 metres out. Are they about to go back-to-back here? Lilly gives the ball towards Patton. Patton kicks through to Gill. Johnston's got it down. Foggy Johnston's grounded it. Kieran Gill left the ball for DFJ. And welcome back, D. Foggy Johnston. He's got try number 4 of the season. The Bulls go back-to-back. And Swinton, they are capitulating in the Odsal heat here. Ill discipline, defensive structure problems, and the Bulls running riot. It's 24 points to 6, and what a big win this could be for the Bulls. It'll put them back in the playoffs at the end of this afternoon, and certainly with games coming up against Keighley, London, Newcastle, who knows what might happen. The Bulls could be in those top 4 positions ahead of what you're probably going to call, they're all tricky championship fixtures, by the way, but in terms of when we next hear back at Odsal in June, ahead of that trip to Toulouse, when Halifax Panthers are the visitors, well, that game is more than likely to be rearranged due to Halifax's involvement in the Challenge Cup and the 1895 Cup, so I know the RFL have yet to announce it, but that'll probably be changed, and it'll be probably played a little bit later on in the season. But Bradford really, really doing well here. Swinton have a player down, and it's their standoff half, Ollie Olds. He's down receiving medical treatment. They've already lost Mike Butt. The battered, the bruised. Bradford really, really pushing down the gauntlet here. Padden's come up with 2 try assists. And we're in the 35th minute here. 5 minutes to half time. Kick predictor over on the far stand side for Dec Patton. This one, 51%. It's right on the far stand touchline. It was a lovely kick from Patton. Kieran Gill could have pounced, but he just left the ball. He let it go a couple of metres to the left in the in-goal area, and Foggy Johnson touched it down. Well, perhaps Gilly didn't fancy diving and rolling over in the grass. Who knows? So, Patton, from that far stand touchline. That one goes between the posts. 5 from 5 from Dec Patton. Tries from Gill, England, Mason, and Foggin Johnston. Bradford running away with this one. It's 26 points to 6. And the Lee Greenwood, Brian Noble era getting off to a big win at this stage. So 5 minutes to go to half time. Swinton go for a short restart, but Jowett gets to it, gives it to England. England runs lateral. England wrapped up. Oh, he's very, very hungry, is Brad England. He's certainly missing in the last couple of weeks or so with the arm injury, and Bradford given another 6 again here. Swinton dislaying on in the tackle. So that's the 5th 6 again Bradford have had. They've had the 5 penalties. So that's 10 times Swinton have just given Bradford a fresh set of 6. And Alan Coleman, he'll be absolutely filthy with the Lions' discipline as we now send Ben Blackmore go down the middle. Blackmore to Lilly on the inside. Lilly's wrapped up by Abram. And Bradford all of a sudden are 20 metres out now from the line. Kick from Patton. That's took a ricochet off a Swinton man. And you could see what he was trying to do there, Dec Patton. He was trying to kick ahead again for Gill and Fogging Johnston. And really unlucky on that occasion is Dec Patton. So Swinton back in possession here. And we have 4 minutes to go to half-time at Odsal. Bradford Bulls 26. Swinton Lions 6 here. Knock on at dummy half here from Swinton. 30 out from their own line after defensive pressure from Billy Jowett. And also Eben Skur. So scrum to Bradford. They're asking for it in a centre field position. Perhaps there's some more points to come on the board here. James is just saying, sounds like Billy Jowett is running the show. Well, it's Jowett and Patton. It does appear to be working from what we've seen in this first half. And to be fair to Billy Jowett, he really set the stall out and set the precedent for what we've seen in the first half. Billy Jowett went straight for Lewis Baxter on tackle number 1. From the scrum, Walker, 15 out, takes it wide. Bradford's attacking structure sees Jowett and Patton. As Patton now gives the ball to Skur. Skur fronts up. Tackle 2, 7 metres out. We've got 3 minutes left on the clock. Bradford about to get a 5th try in this first half. Kevin Appo now tries to go over from short. His run is halted on top of the Swinton try line. Lilly to Mason. Mason's in for another, but he's held up. Dan Abrams come in at the last second, and he's managed to add a bit of Swinton momentum and turn the Huddersfield Giant Loney over. Held up's the call. We go back to the 10. It's still 26-6. Is that delaying the inevitable? Jowett takes the line on now. His run is halted there by Dan Norman and Wesley Bruns. They're on the last tackle, the Bulls. 5 metres out. Patton kicks ahead. It's a lottery. Safety first. Jaden Hatton kicks it dead. Goal line dropout. Repeat set of 6 coming up. And we've got 2 minutes, 28 seconds remaining on this clock. 26 points to 6 here at Odsal Stadium. With no game next week, we've got a well-earned break on the Sunday. We might be at the Shea on Friday night for Halifax against St Helens. We will let you know. As always, follow West Yorkshire Rugby League, West Yorkshire Radio on Twitter. We'll let you know what game we're doing next week. So, goal line dropout as far as Walker. Walker takes it in. Tackle 1. Now here's Skur. Tackle 2. Bradford now 5 metres out from that line. 5 metres out from the Swinton line, and that's only on 2 carries. Lilly now to Jowett. Jowett's pass has been picked off, and Jowett is going to turn attack into defence, and he's done well there as Billy Jowett. And something's happened in back play between Dec Patton and a Swinton player, and the players have all come rushing together, and I think Patton might be in a bit of trouble here because Patton's done something off the ball. The touch judges have all come on. Jowett's pass to Blackmore, that was intercepted by Wesley Bruns. Bruns has gone up the field on this main stand touchline, and Cameron Worsley is just going to take a report here from the touch judge. And he wants a word here with a Swinton player who ran in. Well, I tell you what, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. The referee not happy with the Swinton players for running in. And he's saying, any more running in, you'll go for 10. Penalty for high tackle. Patton's taken someone high off the ball. So it's a penalty to Swinton. 26 points to 6. We've got 60 seconds left of the first half. A chance for Swinton to perhaps get back in this game. They've not had many opportunities on the Bradford line. Amir Broad takes the ball to Gibson. Gibson along the line here to Whitehead. Whitehead's rolled over. They're 25 metres out here now. Back the goal with Gibson. Giving the ball there to Parnaby, who's just come on. Scott Parnaby wrapped up there by Skur and Appo. Here goes Amir Brook out of dummy half. The Salford Loney wrapped up there by Mason. Hooter imminent because we've got 15 seconds to go. Swinton have been given a 6 again. Right at the end of this first half. 26 points to 6. Can Bradford's defence hold on? The Hooters about a sound here as Abram gives the ball to Baxter. Baxter wrapped up. Clock says 0, so we're into first half time added on as Swinton find themselves awarded a penalty here. And they're saying take the 2 here with the Hooter about a sound. And they are going to take the 2. Well, there's the Hooter. I'm not sure what that penalty was for, but we've had nearly 20 penalties in this first half. Bradford have had 5, Swinton have had 5, and we've had the 5-set restarts to Bradford, 3-set restarts to Swinton. Very nearly 20, it's 18 to be precise. And Dan Abram has a chance to claw away at that 20-point lead that the Bulls currently have. Well, on another day, on another afternoon or another evening, if it's an evening game, those passes from Walker and Jowett hit the sweet spot, and 26-6 is 36-0 at half-time, as it is. This might just give Swinton a little bit of confidence at the start of the second half. Lee Greenwood, Brian Noble down there on the touchline. Noble's this talking to Flanagan Senior. Dan Abram adds the extra 2. And at half-time here at Odsall Stadium, Bradford Bulls 26, Swinton Lions 8. A fantastic first-half performance, a strong performance from the Bulls. There's still a little bit of constructive criticism that you could argue about in terms of that. But Brian Noble, Lee Greenwood, Michael Lawrence lead the players down the tunnel here at Odsall Stadium. Bradford with first use of the ball. Just waiting for all the kids and cheerleaders to leave the field after the half-time jamboree. Referee Cameron Worsley looks, whistle to lips. Off we go here at Odsall Stadium. A very, very strong 40 minutes to the Lee Greenwood, Brian Noble interim era. And it's going to be Nathan Mason tackle 1. Very nearly had 2 tries in that first half. Lily out a dummy half to Blackmore. Blackmore tackle 2. Wrapped up there by Whitehead, Baxter and Eves. Amir Bruff comes in as well as a 4th man. Swinton players have to retreat. Blackmore's lost the ball. 3rd error of the afternoon for the Bulls, and that has come on tackle number 2. Literally 26 seconds into the start of the second half. Ben Hammonds is joining us this afternoon, and he says, need a big win to boost the points difference. Silsden Steve joining us this afternoon. So Ben's joining us from Florida. And now it's a penalty to Swinton on tackle 1 because Bradford are offside inside the 10. So I don't want to keep telling the loyal listeners what the penalty count is, but Swinton leading the penalty count 6-5 now, but it's 5-3 to the Bulls on the set restarts. Well, a Swinton try right here at the start of the second half, that really does perhaps create a little bit of doubt. Swinton now looking to get that try right at the start of the second half. Can the Bulls match that intensity of that opening 15 minutes where they led 14 points to nil? After those early tries from Gill and England, Swinton find themselves underneath the Bradford post here with Whitehead. Amir Burra gives it out to Abram. Abram might butts back out there for the second half, so he's past his HIA. He's 5 out, brought down there by Jowett. Amir Burra's over from dummy half, and just like that, the Salford low knee will catch the Bulls cold around the ruck, and that's come off the Ben Blackmore error, and then the penalty for offside, and Swinton open the scoring here at the second half. It's 26 points to 12. So Amir Burra has gone over. We're in the 42nd minute here at Odsall. Well, Bradford just need to make sure they don't fall in love with themselves. And I'm sure that might have been the message from Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood at half-time. Swinton, they mean business here. So, Swinton narrow the gap further still. Is there a second half comeback on the cards here? Dan Abram, 5 metres in from the far stand side. Yet to miss this afternoon with his previous 2 conversion attempts. This one will go straight between the posts. And with a 12-point ball game here at Odsall all of a sudden, it was 26 points to 6. But that penalty from Abram and that try from Brough and another conversion from Abram narrows it down still. So, Dan Abram narrowing the gap to 12. 26 plays 14 here at Odsall. Jordan Lilly's restart back underway here. Bradford's discipline with ball in hand and with their defence in terms of penalties and set restarts, probably in terms of where we're looking for improvement, needs to be highlighted. Dan Abram now brought down by Butler and Apo, 30 out from his own line, 20 shy of halfway, plays the ball on the Swinton 30, and Amir Burra now goes straight into Jowett. Jowett does well with Chester Butler. He's gone over on his left shoulder, Amir Burra. And he gets up a little bit gingerly and groggily. And that's due to that big tackle there from Jowett and Butler. They're up to halfway on the restart here, Swinton. They're on the last tackle now, on halfway. Gibson, boot to ball, targets Foggin Johnston. The Wolf takes it. And here goes the Wolf. Makes 8 metres. Patton's in there at dummy half. Now to Gill. Kieran Gill, twisting, turning. 25 out from his own line, tackle 2. Messing around at the ruck. Lilly to Blackmore. This is probably where Blackmore does well. Gives the ball to Walker. Walker finds Patton. Patton to Wallace. And that neat little offload there from Blackmore has seen Bradford enter the Swinton half of the field. Lilly now to Mason. 20 metres made there from Mason. The 25 out from the Swinton line. And here goes Skur. Skur carries Bradford 10 metres out. They're on the last tackle. They're looking towards Patton. They find Patton. Kick charge down. Swinton are going in here. Potentially. Chester Butler. Patton. It's a foot race on Rodri Lloyd. Rodri Lloyd against Chester Butler. Swinton have gone 80 metres. The kick was charged down. A sensational try from Rodri Lloyd. Game Willie truly back on here at Odsall. 26 points to 18. And Dick Patton can't believe what's just happened. That is 3 times now the Bulls have come up with an error that has resulted in Swinton points on the board, and this game has just changed. Rodri Lloyd, the Welsh international, we're in the 45th minute here at Odsal, and it's game well and truly on. The Bulls, they've just hit self-destruct in 5 second half minutes, and the Bulls supporters, they can't believe what they are seeing, what they are witnessing. Well, Lee Greenwood, Brian Noble, they emerged at half-time to take their coaching position, and there were smiles on the faces. Well, those smiles, well, they'll have evaporated, and there is concern here on the terraces. Everybody below here, they're saying why. They're looking round at me. I'm not in control of anything. I'm just here to tell you and describe accurately what's happening on the field. But the Bulls, well, Michael Lawrence is straight there on the crisis behind the post. Abram converts. 6-point ball game here at Odsal. What on earth has happened in 5 second half minutes? You talk about that battered morale and the confidence of the side. Tries from Hatton, Burrett and Lloyd. Also putting with the ill discipline. And now it's going to need a big second half effort here from the Bulls to try and turn this around. Because all of a sudden, Swinton are in control. And now Bradford have gone in high on the restart. Kieran Gill has gone high in the tackle. And it's another penalty to Swinton. Well, Bradford, they've not had any ball at all in this second half. We've had 47 minutes gone. And Swinton being gifted repeat sets from ill discipline and Bradford errors. Kieran Gill, Foggy Johnson, Patton, three Bradford hungry defenders there, bringing down the winger, Jaden Hatton. Back down the middle, they will come with Baxter, one of 3 players on dual reg from St Helens, Baxter, Norman and Bruns. They're inside the Bradford half of the field here. Tackle free. Burr's in there at dummy half. Amir Burra to Whitehead. Whitehead to Gibson. Gibson to Lloyd. Lloyd is brought down 10 metres inside the Bradford half of the field by Skerr and Wallace. Burra in at dummy half. To Gibson. To Olds. Ollie Olds drops the shoulder. And it's another penalty that the Bulls have conceded. This time, Kevin Apple going in with a shoulder. And referee Cameron Worsley is stopping the clock here. He's had enough. He's had enough. He wants a word. He's put Bradford on the team warning. Penalty count now. Well, there's been that many penalties, even I'm losing count. It's 11-10 in favour of Swinton. 21 penalties. Bradford have disconceded 3 in as many minutes, and now Swinton are literally 10 metres out from that Bradford try line. What on earth is happening here? Did Bradford fall in love with themselves in the dressing rooms at half-time? I know we were very complimentary. We said there was still room for improvement in terms of the defensive discipline. Burr's in there at dummy half. Gibson, Abram to Mike but very nearly. Skip past Billy Jowett. Jowett with a try-saving tackle on that left-hand edge. Abram now. Back to Brough. Amir Burra's brought down by Skerr and Lilly underneath the Bradford post. They're 12 metres out. Centre field position. Here goes Gibson, he kicks through, Lloyd touches down, we're going to have a level game here in Odsal. It's a second half capitulation from the Bradford Bulls. The kick come through, it was pinpoint perfect. Wallace, Gill, Walker, all beaten to the ball by Welsh international Rodri Lloyd. And this is surely going to be the worst 8 minutes of Bradford's season. They were in total control of this game, leading by 26 points to 8 at half-time. and they have just capitulated. 3 tries. In 8 minutes. 26 points to 24. All the feel-good factor just evaporated. Kick predictor, 82% here for Dan Abram. 12 metres in from touch, yet to miss this afternoon. Bradford 24, Swinton 24, 26 points apiece, I beg your pardon. Oh, listen to the crowd now here at Odsall. They can't believe what they're seeing. Well, we've got to be brutally honest and call it how we see it, but the Bulls have just totally switched off. 26 points apiece here at Odsall. And that has come off the errors and the penalties. Bradford have just been starved and suffocated of any ball whatsoever, and Kevin Appo on the restart here has forced Swinton into an error. It's Whitehead who's lost the ball 10 metres out from his own try line. Well, I'm not quite sure my notepad's going to have enough to record all the try scorers with the amount of points being scored at Odsall here this afternoon, but we are going to have a lot of points, that's for certain. We've had 10 minutes gone in this second half. Billy Jowett's forming the scrum and telling the side to calm down here. Lilly now to Patton. Can the Bulls get back? Walker, Foggy Johnston in at the corner. Rolled over, but he's in the field of play. And now Swinton have conceded a penalty. So, 11 penalties apiece. Swinton offside from the scrum, says referee Cameron Worsley. Kieran Gill will tap the ball 5 metres out. Patton now to Mason. He's 8 metres out. Tackle 1. Bradford, a lot of field in front of them as they go wide with Skir, and Skir's down. Eben Skir's touched it down. Cameron Worsley says he's in the field of play. That looked like it was on the line. Walker's not going to complain. Kicks through to Johnston. Foggy Johnston's in at the corner. Bradford back in front. It's a helter-skelter afternoon here at Odsall. It might be sunny and high humidity, but it's raining points. Lovely try assist from Jack Walker. Drew in both Jaden Hatton and Jake Spedding, and then kicked the ball out wide. And Foggy Johnston, second try of the afternoon. Try number 5 for the season. 51 minutes gone on the clock here, and it's 30 points to 26. And that might just restore a bit of calmness to Bradford. We've got to call it as we see it. 8 minutes in the second half, it's gone from 26-8 to 26-all on the back of errors and ill-discipline. That is the biggest indicator yet that there's still a lot of work to be done with this Bradford side. Kick predictor here. 57% for Deck Patton. Patton, can he curl this one in from the touchline? Yes, he can. Bradford Bulls 32. Swinton Lions 26 here at Odsall. Patton 6 from 6. Bradford restore a very, very narrow 6-point lead here at Odsall. West Yorkshire Radio, Mick the Game Caller Gledhill here at Odsall. Well, perhaps this is the pick of the championship games this afternoon. Swinton kicking the ball out on the fall. Penalty number 22 of the afternoon. And it's gone the way of the Bulls because Dan Abram has sent that into the speedway, or should I say, the stock car track. And now Bradford will go on the attack here, looking for back-to-back scores. Well, perhaps it's going to be one of those afternoons. And we're now going to see a stirring second half Bradford fight back. Glenn Blackmore taps the ball on tackle 1, and he's 15 metres out on the far stand side. Another Slow pedestrian play the ball here as Jowett gives the ball to Apple. Apple to Mason. Lovely stuff from Jowett. Jowett, Apple, and then Nathan Mason on that outside support. He will cross and crash over the Swinton line. Well, we can't keep up. The points are just coming. It's now 36 points to 26 here at Odsall. We're in the 53rd minute. So the points and the scoreboard beating the minutes on the clock. And Nathan Mason, he goes in for try number 6 of the afternoon for the Bradford Bulls. And just like that, Bradford hit Swinton back with back-to-back scores. Wow. Wow. It was literally electric play from Bradford. Blackmore tackle one. That allowed Lilly to find Jowett. Jowett just delayed the pass at the last second. That created the space for Apple. Apple drew in the Swinton fullback and Mason crossed and Patton converts. 7 from 7. It's Bradford Bulls 38. Swinton Lions 26 now here at Odsall. Patton 7 from 7. 54 minutes gone on the clock. We've still got 26 minutes to go. Who knows what might happen here yet at Odsall. 38 points to 26. 11 tries so far. Well, if you've paid your money this afternoon, you're certainly getting entertainment value with all the points at Odsall. I feel sorry for whoever's got to edit the highlights. Mason tackle one on the restart. 15 out. Lilly calling for a bit of a calm, composed set of 6 here. You don't have to score on each set of 6 as Chester Butler carries Bradford for 10 metres. There's more messing around at the play of the ball. And it's another penalty here. Well, we're now up to 23 penalties. And Swinton have just pushed Chester Butler over as he was playing the ball. Penalty number 23 of the afternoon. Cameron Worsley looking for the Swinton player. And I think he's been told by the match commission, and now Swinton are on the team warning. Next one's going. So we've just seen ill discipline from Bradford, resulting in a Swinton comeback. And now Swinton have caught the EBGBs, and now Bradford are looking to capitalise. Kieran Gill will tap the ball, and he's brought down 30 metres out. A fresh set of 6, a restart for Bradford. Swinton have not had the ball in 5 minutes, and Bradford now looking to go back to back to back. As Eben Skur carries Bradford just outside the Swinton 20-metre line. Well, I tell you what, this is just absolutely crazy here at Odsall. Jowett inside to Walker. Walker's 10 metres out. Here come the Bulls again. There's more messing around at the play of the ball. Lilly to Patton. Patton to Skur. Skur's brought down. 2 tries thus far this year. Mason's on for the hat-trick. And it's another 6 again here to the Bulls. And he's over the line there for Mason on what will be the 0 tackle because Swinton have held in the tackle. 7-6 against to Bradford. They've had the 8 penalties. And we're going back here now to the 10-metre line for a clean set restart. So Jowett, tackle 1, 5 metres out. Well, our Bradford about to cross for try number 7 of the afternoon. It's 38 points to 26. Apple's going underneath the sticks. And Kevin Apple, he will score try number 3 of the season. And King Kevin, the PNG international, he takes 3 Swinton defenders with him, and he just slams the ball down. 42 points to 26. We're in the 57th minute here at Odsall. 12 tries now scored this afternoon. Apple, just too much power, too much pace. Apple just went to Mike Butt. Get out of the way. And Apple slams the ball down underneath the post. And that has come from some horrific Swinton Lions discipline. They gave away the penalty on Chester Butler. They then held Nathan Mason down in the in-goal area. Another 6 again. And all of a sudden, that second half comeback scare is a distant memory. Patton from in front. 8 from 8 this afternoon. Bradford 44. Swinton 26. And now a big Bradford Bulls result is on the cards again. 22 minutes to go in this one. 44 points to 26. I've only got space for 2 more try scorers on the notepad. I think I'm going to run out. How good's your memory, Mick? West Yorkshire Radio with myself, Mick the Game Caller Gledhill. What a game at Odsall this afternoon, probably for all the wrong reasons. Swinton, nearly kicked it out on the full again. Patton gives it to Baldwinson. So Jordan Lilly leaves the field. George Flanagan Senior comes on for career appearance 250. And here he is. Listen to the noise for George Flanagan Senior. He will make career appearance 250. And now Bradford back on the restart here with Blackmore. 25 out from their own line. There was just a delay of the game there while Flanagan got on the field. Back to come down the middle here with Chester Butler. 8 shy of halfway. They've not had the ball, Swinton, now for about 8 minutes. And Bradford up and over halfway here with Blackmore. They're 5 metres inside the Swinton half of the field. And at long last, Swinton might be getting the ball here because they're on the last tackle. Ball goes back to Jowett. Jowett gives it to Patton. Patton under pressure from Lloyd. Kicks it downtown. Hatton does well. And Hatton is going to be brought down, tackle 1 by Johnston and Gill. Well, it's very, very hot, humid here at Odsall. And the scoreboard operator certainly earned his money this afternoon. 44 points to 26 as we just reached the hour mark here. So we've got 20 minutes left here at Odsall. And certainly this second half is, if it's anything to go by, with both sides trading tries in quick succession in 3 try blocks. 26-8 at half-time. Swinton levelled the game astonishingly at 26 points apiece before Swinton started giving the ill discipline. And now Bradford have conceded a set restart on the last tackle on halfway. That's what the groans are for in the background. We've had 27 penalties this afternoon. Unbelievable. Here goes Dan Abram now. He's 20 metres out from the Bradford line. Are we about to see Swinton come back at the Bulls? It's another penalty, this time to Swinton, because George Flanagan Senior has stolen the ball. So, make that 28 penalties. Well, you can't take your ears off this one. We've got 19 and a half minutes to go. Are we about to see Swinton score try number 5 and unbelievably get themselves back in this game? I'm not sure the voice is going to hold out. Josh Eves, who's just come back on the field, goes short side to Rodri Lloyd. Lloyd's brought down there by Gill and Patton. They're 10 metres out now, Swinton. Across the face of the post they go with Gibson. Gibson gives it back to Dan Norman on the inside. He's rolled over in a 3-man tackle. He's 5 metres out now from that Bradford try line. Josh Eves goes straight out of dummy half. And he's over the Bradford line, but he's held up. And we're going back to the 10. And that is good scrambling defence there from AJ Wallace and Kevin Appo. Josh Johnson and Fenton Rogers about to come on the field of play here for Bradford. And that will be their 6th and 7th interchange of the afternoon. As we see Dan Abram now trying to skip past AJ Wallace. But he offloads the ball off the floor. It's gone backwards into the arms of Norman. And Norman's lost the ball under a crunching challenge there from Eben Skur. Swinton coming up there with error number 9 of the afternoon. Scrum head and feet to the Bulls. Johnson and Rogers come on. And that will allow Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood to re-energise and recharge the troops. So, how's everybody doing this afternoon? It's not like there's been much to report on Odsall. 12 tries, 44 points to 26. Scrum to Bradford. Flanagan takes the ball out of the back of the scrum. No real impact there. Mike Butt just dropped his knees a little bit cautiously there on Flanagan. Tackle 2 with Brad England. Here goes Ben Blackmore. 12 shy of halfway. Another quick play of the ball. Flanagan to Butler. Bradford inside the Swinton half of the field. As Flanagan now gives it to Patton. Patton to Walker. Walker down the middle of the park. Walker caught high there by Mike Butt. And surely this has to be the moment where referee Cameron Worsley goes to the back pocket, because that's penalty number 29 of the afternoon, right in front of the post. And he's just going to say it's a penalty. Oh my word. Well, they're not going to go for 2 here, Bradford. They're just going to run the ball in. They want more points. They're hungry for more points. Another converted try gives Bradford the half century. Brad England leaves the field to a standing ovation from the supporters in the main stand. Bradford tackle 1 on a fresh set after that high tackle on Walker. Rogers to Flanagan Senior. Flanagan Senior taking on the Swinton line. He's 2 metres out, is George Flanagan. Well, we've still got around 17 minutes to go here as we see Bradford try and score. Try number 8 with Fenton Rogers. He's pushed back in the field of play. Well, George Flanagan try and go himself. He's literally a couple of metres out from the line. No, he won't. He'll give it to Padden. Padden to Jowett. Jowett over the top to Butler. Butler towards the corner. Penalty to Swinton. And the referee will say penalty because Kevin Appo has taken a Swinton defender out. He's overrun it. And, well, we're up to 29 now. 29 penalties. Well, if you like penalties, you've had your money's worth. Not really sure what Kevin Appo did there, to be fair. Yeah, well, he's saying the obstruction, but the contact must have been minimal from where I was looking. Swinton, though, have kicked the ball up to halfway. Well, they know the clock's and scoreboard against them. If they can get a try on this set, might set up a nervy finish, a bit of doubt in the Bradford side. Ball's been lost behind by Swinton, picked up by Gibson. Abram has it, floats it out wide. Bruns wrapped up there by Jowett. Well, he's gone through a lot of work as Billy Jowett. You could argue Nathan Mason, his impact, real Super League enforcer here with his impact, with his tries and contribution. So to Eben Skur. We'll open the man of the match vote in just a moment. A Swinton kick early in the count, but Walker's read that. And now Walker will turn defence into attack. And he's brought down 20 metres out from his own try line. Well, he gets up a little bit gingerly there, just Jack Walker. And he's lost the ball, Jack Walker. So scrum here. There's a little bit of concern for Jack Walker. Medical staff come on. Gets a little bit of a pat on the back there from Mike Butt, but it will be Bradford's 8th error of the afternoon, and it will be scrum to Swinton, centre field, 20 metres out. So, certainly loads of points in the sunshine here. 13 minutes to go at Odsall. 13 minutes for Bradford to hold on. A couple of people saying Dec Patton, man of the match. People saying Nathan Mason. Swinton, though, they know there's 13 minutes and there's time on the clock for them to get back in this game, but they need a score. They need to find a way back. Amir Burra's back out there on the field. He tries to pinch one, gives it to Gibson. Wallace wraps up Gibson. Flanagan comes in. He's pushed back to the 10-metre line. Good defence there from the Bradford Bulls. Josh Eaves going short side. Rodri Lloyd, he's on for the hat-trick. Gives the ball on the inside, but he's found a white-shirted Bradford player. And it's Jordan Baldwinson who's come up with that play. And now it's another penalty because Swinton are offside. Penalty number 31. And it's going to be a chance for Bradford to just run time off this clock. And I think we can probably say now Bradford are going to return to winning ways this afternoon. Their first win in 3. But oh boy, if we're calling a spade, the Brian Noble, Lee Greenwood era has got off to a very shaky, patchy start here. But I'm guessing Bradford are going to do ultimately what was needed on the tin, which was just get the win. Bradford now with Jowett, ball in hand. Oh, Baxter comes in and absolutely flattens Billy Jowett. He's 12 metres shy of halfway. Jowett gets to his feet, and it's another penalty. Well, 32 penalties now, and another penalty for offside. Well, maybe Cameron Worsley has left the cards at home, I'm not sure. Roderick Lloyd wants to have a word with the referee, and he's going to stop the clock here. Cameron Worsley. I think there's an allegation or something being made. We'll wait and see what the referee says. Is it getting put on report? Well, the referee's wanting... Yeah, Bradford are going to be placed on report for eye gouging. So there's an allegation of eye gouging. The referee's looked and said, yeah, someone's put a finger there. The match review panel will watch it. But it's still a penalty to Bradford. So someone has done some eye gouging or has been suspected, yes, of allegedly eye gouging. That might be trouble down the line. It was the standoff half, Jordan Gibson, who's gone straight to the referee. Here we go then. Bradford. On the back of their 13th penalty. Moving the ball here with Blackmore. They're 5 metres out from the Swinton line. They're looking for the half century here. Flanagan to Jowett to Baldwinson. 3 Swinton defenders wrap him up. 8 metres out underneath the post. Flanagan goes wide to Johnson. To Jowett. Lovely reverse pass from Jowett to Wallace. Wallace towards the Swinton line. Pushed back in the field of play. 5 metres in from touch. 5 metres away from the Swinton try line. Gills in there at dummy half. Pattern now to Josh Johnson. And Johnson's run is halted. No real impact on that play. Last tackle here for the Bulls. Flanagan short to Walker. Walker back to Flanagan. Flanagan kicks the ball into the arms of Mike Butt. And Mike Butt disrupts on the ball. And with less than 10 minutes remaining, it is still here at Odsal Stadium. Bradford Bulls 44, Swinton Lions 26. And believe it or not, we've gone 13 minutes or so without anybody scoring. Oh, here we go. Another penalty. Swinton on tackle 1. And the referee's giving a penalty here to Swinton because Bradford were time wasting. 33 penalties if you include the set restarts. Or 33 acts of ill discipline, whichever way you look at it. Neither coach is going to be pleased with the discipline of either side here at Odsal this afternoon. Got to be brutally honest. For those that have been listening, they've heard the whistle go, the 6 agains. It's been quite frustrating, and it has affected the fluidity of the game. So Swinton, 8 minutes left on the clock. Can they get back in this game? They're inside the Bradford half of the field here. With Jake Spedding. He'll get to his feet. He'll play the ball, Will Spedding. Gibson now. Goes down the middle. Badrock is pushed back towards halfway. Look at that from Gill. Look at that there from Rogers. Ball goes down the middle channel. Attendance just been announced, 2,935. So 2,935, one of the lowest crowds of the season here at Odsal. Swinton on the last tackle. Kick comes in from Gibson. Targeting Walker. Swinton come up with the ball. And Swinton are going to score around and underneath the post. And it's game back on here at Odsal Stadium. It's Wesley Bruns who scored. And it's 44 points to 30. And we are in the 73rd minute here at Odsal. So, Swinton, they will just not go away. Abram wants to take the quick conversion. And we're going to have a 12-point ball game here. And Swinton is still going to have time on the clock. Bradford, 44. Swinton, 32. Well, can Swinton do the unthinkable? 44 points to 32. We've had 13 tries here at Odsal this afternoon. Whatever happens here, Bradford know there has to be improvement ahead in the 2 weeks as we see Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood come from the dugout, and they're going on the touchline here for the final 5 minutes or so. Jack Walker gets the restart back underway with Jordan Lilly off the field. Well, certainly a penny for everybody's thoughts here this afternoon. I don't know myself quite what to think about this. The win is probably the most important thing. And from a neutral point of view, you've probably had value for money, albeit a scrappy, if unspectacular game due to the errors and the penalties. Swinton, kick ahead earlier on tackle 3, but they've just found Jack Walker over on the far stand side. And Jack Walker's lost the ball here in a three-man collision. The players come running together. Referee's going to stop the clock. It's boiled over with 5 minutes to go. The man of the match this afternoon is given to Eben Skur, giving the man of the match. Referee's going to overturn the decision and he'll give a penalty to Swinton late on here. That's 35 now we've had, if you include the set restarts. Still no yellow card. 44-32. Here we go. A big 5 minutes for Bradford to hold on. Swinton, 20 metres out. If they score here, we have one hell of a grandstand finale after Bradford, at least 3 times this afternoon, have had the game comfortably won. Surely they're not going to conspire to lose it at the death here. Rodri Lloyd wrapped up, 15 out, underneath the Bradford post. Amir Burra now to Gibson, back down the middle here with Case. Case somehow gets the ball back to Burra. Ball goes to Mike, but draws in Apo. Bull supporters a little bit frustrated, allowing Swinton because they're offloading the ball in the tackle. But that's worked to Bradford's favour because they've managed to come in and they've managed to wrap up Baxter. Here comes Swinton though with Rodri Lloyd. There's another penalty coming here to Swinton because a Bradford player has taken someone out. 36 penalties now. 36 penalties. Still no yellow card. This is quite frankly astonishing and unbelievable. And referee Cameron Worsley will stop the clock here at Odsal Stadium. Some of the supporters below our commentary position saying it's Dyer. We're not sure if he's commenting on the performance or what, but Swinton, they know they score here, and they are going to score here. And Swinton, they've made Bradford Bulls ill-disciplined pay. And I do believe it's Wesley Bruns again. He scored 2 in 2 minutes, and it's 44 points to 36. And the kick to come from underneath the post. Chance here for Swinton. They have the extra 2. An unbelievable afternoon here at Odsal Stadium. We've had 14 tries. Nobody can quite believe what we're seeing. It's Bradford 44, Swinton 38, and there's still 3 minutes to go here at Odsal. 3 minutes for Bradford to hold on. Michael Lawrence relaying the information from Noble and Greenwood. Surely the Bulls cannot let this slip. Credit to Swinton. Credit to Swinton. And listen to the crowd at the 11th hour. Bradford thought they've won this game 3 times over, but back have come Swinton. Flanagan gets the restart, back underway, kicks it straight towards the corner. Hatton, he's targeted there by Baldwinson, Wallace and Johnson. Tackle one gone here from Swinton. Gibson, Swinton flowing the ball around, they're moving it over towards the main stand. There's still 25 out from halfway on tackle 2. Swinton have come up with the error, and it's Kevin Apple who's come up with a crunching tackle, and that could be the game. Scrum to Bradford, 25 metres out from the Swinton line, with about 90 seconds left on the clock. So, will Bradford just do the simple thing here, which is a couple of drives and then go for the 1-pointer, which would cement a famous win, probably for all the wrong reasons? It's been a very ill-disciplined, fractured performance. Ball's out of the scrum here. They go wide on that far stand side here with Blackmore. I've no more room on the commentary book to write any more try scorers down. We've had 14 tries here at Odsall this afternoon. Here goes Fenton Rogers down the middle. They're in front of the post here, the Bulls. Is this the moment they go for the drop goal? No, they don't. They give it to Patton, to Johnson. Johnson now to Appo. Appo's 5 metres out from the Swinton try line. They're in front of the post here. Jowett's calling for the ball. Is this the moment Bradford cement their first win in 4? It goes to Patton instead. Baldwinson's lost the ball. They've come up with the error, the Bulls, 10 metres out from the Swinton line. And Swinton, they have to force the scrum. And they're going to stop the clock here, Swinton. 10 metres out from their own try line. The hooter has sounded. The referee had stopped the clock, but he says the Swinton players could not form the scrum in time. An astonishing and at times unbelievable game of rugby league at Odsall Stadium this afternoon on West Yorkshire Radio. 44 points to 38. That's 82 points. Oh, Alan Coleman. Well, the Swinton coaching staff